live via Facebook streaming, YouTube streaming, and also via Skype. Each one of you is welcome to this live streaming from our studios in Trinidad. Tantra, the oldest yet revolutionary way. Tantra, the oldest yet revolutionary way. When you love someone, you pay attention to the person. Attention and love are deeply related to one another. If you suppress the need for love, then it becomes a symbolic need. Then you need the attention of others. If you suppress the need for love, then it becomes a symbolic need. In that situation, in that condition, you need attention of others. This is what everybody is. We need attention of others. You may get it, you may not get, but then too there will be no fulfillment. Whether you get attention or not, there will be no fulfillment, because the need is false. Disconnection from the natural basic need. It is false because it is disconnected from the natural and basic needs. This division in the personality is known as neurosis. Normally, everyone suppresses the need for love, which is natural and spontaneous. Then it becomes a symbolic need, and then you look for and want attention from others. All our actions are guided by this symbolic need for love, and we need attention from others in one way or the other. Sometimes you may get the attention, sometimes you may not. When you get the attention, you feel good, and when you do not get, you do not feel good. But in either way, the fulfillment does not come. Tantra is the oldest yet the newest, but the revolutionary way of life. It is one of the oldest traditions, and yet it is not a tradition, yet it is not traditional. Even anti-traditional, because Tantra says, unless you are whole and one, you are missing the life together. You should not remain in a split state of neurosis, which is schizophrenic. You must become one. What is need to be done to become one? As a child, you are born as feeling being, but you are born in a neurotic society, neurotic environment, and everything forces you to become from feeling to thinking being. And in that process, you remain in a split state. You must become one. And that can happen only when you move from thinking to feeling being. You can go on thinking but that is not going to help you, because thinking is the technique to divide you. Thinking is the technique to make you schizophrenic. Thinking, how does it proceed? Thinking is based on analysis. It is analytical. It divides, it splits this or that, whether to drink Coke or not. And if you have decided to drink something, whether to drink Coke or Pepsi or water or some other soft drink, this is based on analysis. When you are thirsty, you are thinking being. Thinking is analytical. It divides. It creates a split. Feeling unites, synthesizes, makes things one again. So you can go on thinking, reading, studying, contemplating. That is what all of us do, and we are trained for that. It is not going to help you unless you move from thinking center or thinking mode to feeling mode or feeling center, but it is very difficult. The entire process of transformation or awakening is the journey from thinking to feeling being once again. But it is very difficult, because even when we think about the feeling center, when we want to move from thinking to feeling center, we again think. When you say to someone that we all do, I love you, be aware of whether it is a thought or whether it is a feeling. If it is just a thought, as usually happens, then we miss something. There is a strong trend now. The lovers are sitting on the couch, touching, being touched by sitting on the same couch, celebrating the birthday of one of them by sending the greetings and the words through the social media. If we do not do, means we are primitive, that we are not sending the wishes on. We will not take a call. You may say social media, sending the message on WhatsApp is free, but a WhatsApp call is also free. Messenger's call is free, but we prefer to send the messages on the social media, and it has become customary. It is a sign of advancement. It is a sign of progress. But is it progress or regress? That you have to decide. When you say to someone, I love you, on the social media, be aware of whether it is a thought. When you are doing it on the social media, it is just a thought, not a feeling. It is just a thought, and you are missing something. A feeling is of the whole. Your whole body, mind, and everything that you are is involved into it. When you are telling someone, I love you, the words, the intonation, the voice modulation, everything is incorporated in that. And if you are speaking live For that, social media provides you the opportunity, and your expression on the face, the glow in the eye, the intonation, the voice modulation, all are included into it. But sending the message on WhatsApp, nothing is included except your thinking. In thinking, your only head is involved, and that too not totally. You may be thinking, you may be sending the message on WhatsApp, a birthday greetings, but you are hearing the sound of another message coming to you. So it is only a passing thought. It may not be there next moment. When you are in a rush because you have to watch all the messages that have come and all the messages that you have to send. So that thought remains for only a fraction of a second. Next moment it is not there. Only a fragment of your being is involved in that, and that creates misery in life, because with a fragmentary thought you give promise which you cannot fulfill. You can say, I love you and I will love you forever. However, the second part is a promise. I love you is a message, and I love you forever is a promise that you cannot fulfill because it is given by a fragmentary thought. The thought that I love you is not a total thought that involves your total being. The glow in the eyes, the expression on the face, the gesture, the voice modulation, the intonation, nothing is involved in that. It is fragmentary. So in that state, when you give a promise that I love you forever, is false. However, the second part, as I said, is a promise, and it cannot be fulfilled because it is given by a fragmentary thought. Your being is not involved into it. And what will you do tomorrow when that fragment has gone into the oblivion? The thought is no more there. Now the promise will become a bondage. Sartre says has said somewhere that every promise is going to be false. You cannot promise because you are not whole. When the person whom you are wishing is sitting in front of you, your gestures, your glow in the eyes, expression on the face, voice intonation, modulation, all put together creates warmth in your message, warmth in your words. Then it makes a difference. When you are not whole, just a part of you promises. Thought is promising, not. And when part is no more there on the throne and another part has taken over, what are you going to do? Who is going to fulfill? Hypocrisy is born when you go on trying to fulfill that false promise, pretending that you are fulfilling. then everything becomes false. Tantra says, fall down deep within, move deep within to the feeling center. What to do and how to fall back or move to the feeling center. This is in the coming sutras. Each sutra is an effort to make you whole, to transport you from thinking to the feeling center, making you whole from fragmentary. The first sutra says, at the start of the sexual union, keep attentive on the fire in the beginning, and so continuing, avoid the embers in the end. I repeat the words of the sutra once again. At the start of the sexual union, keep attentive on the fire in the beginning, and so continuing, avoid the embers in the end. Sex can be a deep fulfillment, and in that state it can throw you back to your wholeness, to your natural real being, for many reasons. Those reasons have to be understood. 1. Sex is a total act. You are thrown off your mind, off balance. That is why there is so much fear of sex, because you are thrown from your mind. That creates off balance. As such as you are identified with the mind, and mind works in a very calculated manner. When you are in a sexual union, you cannot move in a calculated way. If you have really understood the nuances of this sexual act. Sex is an act of no mind. Mind is not needed for that. If mind is needed, you need many etiquettes, behavioral pattern that society has given to you. All these are meaningless in the act of sex. Then you become headless. You do not have the head during the act. There is no reason, no mental process. You do not think. I am talking about when you are totally into it. And if there is any mental process, then reality, the spontaneity, the naturalness, the authenticity will not be there. And in that state there will be no orgasm, no fulfillment. Then sex act itself will become a local thing, something cerebral. And in most of the cases, if you look into your sex act, it is a cerebral act, and it has become so. All over the world, there is so much of hankering, so much lust for sex. It is not because the world has become more sexual. It is because you cannot even enjoy sex as a total act. When I say total act, it means you are moving headless into it. The world was more sexual before. That is why there was no such hankering for sex. Now sex has become cerebral, and because of that there is so much hankering for it. This hankering shows the real is missing and only the false is there. You constantly think about it. The whole modern mind has become sexual because sex act itself is no more there. It is not real. It is just an acting. Even the sex act is transcended to the mind. It has become cerebral. It has become mental. You think about it. We will continue it in tomorrow's session in order to maintain your interest. Sometimes you have to leave it in the midway when you are expecting something more to come. It will continue in tomorrow's session. Until then, take care and do have a pleasant day.